I'd like to start in and we're going to walk through this, but thanks for joining in, everyone. I do want to do a couple of quick announcements, if I could, before we get started. The first is we're going to mute everybody's microphones, just so everybody knows. We're doing that because it gets to be noisy in the background, and so we are going to mute that. If you have a moment and can mute your own, we would ask you to do that. Bottom left, there should be a mute button. Please hit mute if you could. So, a couple other quick announcements for you, if I could. First off, please be aware that on the right side or below your chat button, there's a chat button. I'd ask you to do a couple things for us if you could. One is, first off, please type your email address into the chat line if you could. We want to keep everybody in the loop and on updates as well. So we'd love to have your email address of everybody. So on the right side, if you hit that chat button, throw in your email address for us so we have that. The second thing is throughout this, as I said, we're going to be doing a presentation, put you all on mute. So if you have questions as we go through here, please throw them in the chat line because we do want to answer your questions as they go through. So please just type those in, and we're going to see if we can keep track of those. From the Launchpad perspective, just as a heads up for anybody who's participating in the Launchpad, we have canceled all meetups and events for the Launchpad through April. Now, we may add things like this, though. I mean, we may add some additional Zoom meetings. So keep your eye out and be aware that we may be adding things through Zoom and online if there's demand and need for that. And in fact, this update here, we're hoping to do at least weekly for you. And so if you have some thoughts on how to best make that available, just let me know, all right? Before we get started, and I'm going to pop up a presentation to get started in a minute here, I do just want to acknowledge a few things. First, in the last 72 hours, I've probably talked to 75 businesses or so. Some are small, one-person shops. Some are really large. Some are I know. Some I have never met before. And the stories I'm hearing are overwhelming. And they're overwhelming for me, and yet you guys are living them, many of you as business people. And so before we get started, I just want you to know we hear you, and you matter to us at Greater Bemidji, but also to the rest of our Bemidji Alliance partners too, at the Chamber, at Visit Bemidji, at the Downtown Association, and all those, city, county, and others. We do hear you, and your business is important to us. We will do everything we can to support your business through this. And I will tell you personally, I will fight for your business. I don't want to lose businesses out of this. And so please know we're going to do everything we can, and we are available 100% 24/7 when you need us. And we'll pop up some information towards the end to do that. But please know we're here for you. That's what we're for. And so I'm going to throw up a presentation that should take a few minutes just to walk through some of the details of what are going on. As we go through, again, throw questions on the chat line on the right, but even more, afterwards, if there's still things lingering in your head, we'll throw up some contact info at the end that you can always reach out to us directly and get some additional information. So I'm going to throw up that presentation, if I would, quickly, and we'll walk through it. And again, feel free to send those questions on the right. So quickly, as I said, I've gotten a ton of contacts over the last 72 hours, more coming every day. And I just want to share with you what I'm sharing with everyone. And these are kind of the takeaways, and they're very, very important. And I encourage any business out there, any small business out there, to think about these things. First off, in every one of your cases, I strongly encourage you to talk to your banker. And I say that because your banker is typically tuned in and knows your business well. And just because there's a resource doesn't mean it's a great resource for you. And your banker will know the best opportunity to do so. So please do no matter what, check in with your banker. And if you do have an accountant, your accountant as well. Both are wonderful resources for you that you should turn to. The second thing is I'm encouraging every business to apply for the Small Business Disaster Loan Program. That will not preclude you from any other funds. So in fact, in many of them, you're going to be required to do so. So I encourage you to do that through the Small Business Administration. I will talk to you in a minute about what that looks like and what that means and how you do that. So just hold on that. But please do, if you are a business, please apply for that Small Business Administration Disaster Loan Program. Third, there is access to, there will be some, there's certainly state resources, and there likely will be local resources as well coming up. And I encourage you to access them. I know there's a bit of pride out there in some of our small businesses and our locally owned businesses. I've talked to many of you. This is a circumstance where you cannot have planned for this. Do not feel bad about reaching out and making access to the services. But let me say this though, please check with us first. And that's the last one, contact Greater Bemidji. Because quite honestly, some of these funds you're going to be eligible for, some you are not. And instead of going through the entire process of trying to figure that out, rely on us to help you do that. And so please reach out to us to see what you're eligible and what you're not eligible for. So let's talk first about that SBA Disaster Loan Program. This is a federal program, and it's changing a little bit. You noticed Congress got involved. But no matter what, I encourage every business to apply for that loan program. Go online. Go, first off, reach out to your bank. Your banker particularly will help you through this application. If you simply Google SBA Disaster Loan Program, that's your best way to get to it. It's an online application. At this point, they are low interest loans with deferred repayments, which is nice. You don't have to make payments until you get back on your feet. Pretty sizable loans as well. And one of the beauties of the SBA loan at this point is that it's a 30-year term. Now, the recently passed stimulus package by Congress is going to make this, I think, the terms and conditions even better for banks, businesses, I'm sorry. And so please do go online, even if you don't know if you're going to need it or not, apply for that SBA Disaster Loan Program. One thing I'll just ask though is don't get frustrated. As you can imagine, the SBA is deeply overwhelmed right now, and it is taking quite a bit of time to get those applications submitted, and the online system is very slow. So be patient, work with your banker, apply for the SBA disaster loan as soon as you can, because it's that important no matter what. And so that's first. Second thing, many of you have seen the press release by the state of Minnesota on some funds that the governor and the legislature made available through what the Department of Employment and Economic Development. The applications for that fund will actually run through Greater Bemidji. Our organization is a certified lender for the state. And so what will happen is the state will allocate certain amounts of funds to Greater Bemidji to get out to our local community. And so you as small businesses have access through us to those funds. And I think that's a good thing, because we certainly know you better than the state does. And it allows the state to move relatively quickly. Details on that are this. One is that these will be no interest loans, again, with deferred payments. There'll be no payments until you'll get back on your feet as businesses. There is also, and this is a little different than the SBA, there is also the potential for partial loan forgiveness after 2 years of operation. So as a business, you are still in operation after 2 years, the state will consider some loan forgiveness as part of this as well. Loans are smaller, about $2,500 to $35,000. And one of the conditions that's really important to know is that you have to be in the process of applying for that SBA disaster loan program I just got done talking to you about. That's why I encourage you to start. You at least have to be in the process of applying for that. Now, why is that? Because the state of Minnesota sees these state deed funds as a bridge, knowing in advance that it's going to take a while for the SBA to act on all the requests that are going to go their way. The state is concerned, and rightly concerned, about you as small businesses during that gap. All right. And so you will be required as part of that deed application to apply for the SBA program and be in the process. So you can apply for both simultaneously, but again, realize you will be expected to go ahead and apply for SBA loan as well. So the one thing I will say, and this has been a point of confusion because it wasn't particularly clear on the state's press release, is only businesses directly impacted by the governor's executive orders are going to be eligible for these state funds. And so what I've done here, and this is going to be a busy screen, but I've done is popped up the eligible businesses for the state small business emergency support. In most cases, we're talking about those who were forced to close down in that first executive order. So it's the restaurants, bars, pubs, it's theaters, recreation places, bowling alleys, spa, salons, that type of thing. You can see the list on the screen. You may also, I mean, this might have gone too fast and you may be confused. There might be some on the fringes of eligibility. Just ask. Let us know. Ask us. We will let you know if we can, if you're eligible or not. If there is some debate on your eligibility, I will take that personally to the Commissioner of Deed and fight on your behalf to make you eligible. But they are being relatively strict on this at this time. Reason being, quite honestly, the state has authorized $30 million for this fund. I will tell you that in our area alone, I'm guessing our fund needs will be far exceeding $750 to $1 million. And so the demand is going to be strong on that. If you are in the eligibility of this Deed Small Business Emergency Support Program, please let us know quickly. And the reason being is I think there's some value in being the fastest to the table on my end, because I can then advocate for additional resources for the Bemidji area. Okay. If you're happen to be listening in today and you're outside what I would consider the greater Bemidji region, there are other organizations that can also take applications and run applications for you. If you're wondering who that is or don't know how to find out who that is, send me an email and I will find that for you and send it right back so you know who you need to talk to. Also locally, the Northwest Minnesota Foundation is also a certified lender and it's doing some additional very similar processing to what we're doing at Greater Bemidji to help businesses with the state loan program. So again, limited eligibility to those that were required to be closed down as part of the governor's original executive orders back in the day, with that list in front of you. If you know of people that fit this criteria, please also share that with them so they reach out to me and I can share that with them as well. There is, on top of that, of course, there are many, many, many of you that are not on that list of eligible businesses that have deeply been affected. I'm aware of that. I mean, and a lot of the stories I'm hearing are pretty substantially affected, and we're not forgetting you as well. We are in the process of developing what we hope will be in the next few days a local emergency fund specifically for Bemidji area businesses that are locally owned and small. We're doing this in partnership with our banks. And so again, that's why the importance of reaching out to our banks. And we're gonna probably be announcing 3 or 4 additional partners in this as well in the coming days. Our target, we would like to get upwards of $1 million of small business assistance to local businesses and be able to announce that by early April. What we're looking at there right now is partnership loans with our local lenders. And so if you as a business reach out to a bank and the bank is able to provide you some kind of an emergency line of credit or something to that order, this fund would be able to match that at 0%. We do that for a couple of reasons, most of which though is for you. We do that so there's not another layer of people you need to talk to. You're dealing only with your banker, and your banker knows you best. And I think that is the best route that we could go. As that gets developed, we'll make that known. But again, your point of contact on that emergency fund, once it's created, is going to be your local bank. And so again, that's one of the reasons we strongly encourage you to reach out to your bank and just to stay in connection with your bank as you move forward. All right. Last thing I'm going to pop up on the screen before we take on some questions here, and I know there's going to be additional questions. I just want to take the opportunity to leave on the screen the names of folks who are going to help with this, particularly the financial end of small business needs. And so please know this team on that screen right now is available to you 24/7. I have no problem getting texts, phone calls on my cell phone at night, in the evenings, on the weekends, whatever it takes, as well as the rest on that list. It doesn't matter who you choose to access. If you know someone on the list you're more comfortable with, by all means use them. We all are all in this together. And so please use that list that you see right now and take advantage of those folks. We are here for you. Any questions, any confusion, any concerns, just by all means reach out. And don't feel bad about reaching out, because that's what we're here for. So I'm going to stop the screen share for a minute. I do want to give an opportunity. I know that Abby Randall, the new chamber director, is on the call as well. I wanted to give Abby a chance also to share a little bit, if she would, about the chamber. And they've been doing some amazing things with regard to takeout and credit, gift card encouragement and buy local encouragement. And just Abby, get a chance to share what's up with the chamber. You available, Abby?
There.
Hello.
There.
All right. We're going to get this Zoom thing figured out after all. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me in this call, Dave. So yeah, like Dave said, we're fielding a lot of calls from members and local businesses, and I just want to mirror Dave's stress on contacting your local banker. We have some bankers on our board of directors, and I've been in contact with local bankers here in Bemidji, and absolutely that's the best advice that I've been giving over and over. And then again, too, just to reiterate that, we're all in this together, and I've been hearing from members and some sadness and frustration from members that they have to look into unemployment options and financing options. And I think the best thing that we can do for our local businesses right now is just to reiterate that that we're all in this situation. I've yet to find one single industry that this pandemic isn't going to touch. So we just need to keep in mind that we need to be patient and that that it's okay to look into these options and get the ball rolling. And then also another thing that the chamber's been busy with is just helping decipher critical industries and non-critical industries. So we've been doing some work to look into that, and contact Dave or I if you have any questions about your operations and what defines a critical industry. We're kind of building the ship while we're at sea. So there's a lot of gray area, but we're all working behind the scenes. And if you have any insight that maybe I don't have, please reach out. As far as chamber, some initiatives that we're working on, we've been heavy on social media, trying to encourage folks to still order from our restaurants. They still have the ability to provide takeout options and curbside options. And then also reach out to your favorite businesses and ask what you can do to help and what you can do to solicit their business. There's still quite a few businesses that are operating e-commerce through their website. So I encourage you, gift card sales or reaching out or taking that opportunity to buy now on any chance that you can get is obviously going to help. So just want to open it up if anybody has any questions about the chamber. But again, feel free to reach out to me through my email and or call my cell. My cell phone's on the website. Text me, call me, email me if you have. If you just want to share ideas or if you have questions, reach out.
Thanks, Abby. Thanks so much. So I'll give a minute or two for folks. If you do have some questions, you want to quick type them in the chat line, please do so before I close up. But I do want to be able to answer any questions you might have. So please take advantage of that for a moment or two here. Got a question about whether this is being made available. Yes, it will be made available. It is being recorded by us on the Zoom. And so we will make that available. We'll be sending it out by our email blast again. And somehow I think we're going to pop it on the websites as well and make that available. So yeah, anybody who was not able to see this and wants to hear a little bit, might have some interest in this, by all means, yeah, we'll have it available. And Monty asked about the 504 deferment loans money. I don't know much about those, to be honest. Typically, the SBA deals directly with your banks. And so your banker will know most about the SBA 504 loans.
They are available.
Okay. Great.
What I'm trying to say, and you can do it right away, something pretty quick, but they are trying to get it where they're going to have them available for 6 months instead of just the automatic 3 months.
Okay.
So people need to really look into them if you have a 504.
Yeah. Great. Thank you, Monty. Other questions? So, seeing none, I do want to share that we will be doing more of these as things. Oops, I see a question. Please don't. Yeah. Please, Jill. Thank you for your question. And Jill, thanks. Honestly, one of the first people to reach out to me, Jill, asked please encourage people, both the chamber and ourselves, to not cancel events too quickly and to take their time before they overreact and canceling things. And we'll certainly do that, Jill. I know that imagine in places, particularly for lodging establishments, but others too, that's a big deal. I talked to a business yesterday that the announcement of the closure of Rainy River is going to cost them an enormous amount of money. And so, yeah, Jill, we'll certainly do that. So we will be doing these chats, online updates, hopefully weekly. If you have some ideas, on when is a better time, that type of thing, just let me know. All right, because we're not hooked to this noon on Fridays, but it seemed to be a nice place to start. So that's true. So before we close up, I noticed a whole bunch of stuff coming online. Read it on the right. If you see the chats, you can see people are making comments like the Blue Hawks is not canceled. Thanks, Phil. Don't cancel yet. Resorts are still allowed to be open for the time being, that type of thing. So my last comments before we close up is this, I got to tell you, I'm deeply proud of our community. It is amazing to me to see all the stuff happening from Danae and her team at the United Way and what the city and the Sanford Center did to make this space available for warehousing was incredible. The chambers, Abby's work at the chamber with regard to helping buy local, stay local, that type of thing. Susan Jarvis, the new Sanford director. Sanford's been amazing at providing unbelievably accurate information for us. And I think that's really powerful. Tim Lutz, again, is at the school district as superintendent. That our district has been amazing and they care about your kids. And that's pretty awesome what's going on. All this is unreal to me. And it's really neat. And then I couldn't be more proud to call myself a Bemidjian right now because of this is when we step up together, and it's pretty awesome, quite honestly, to see. So we will be having, as I said before I close, we will be having our information to share with everyone. We'll do this once a week. And so watch your emails. for the next one, and we'll keep everybody informed. With that, thanks everyone for everything you do. Stay with us. Please contact us if you have any questions. Thanks so much. Take care.
Kind of crazy to see everyone follow. If anyone has any other information or any other links that they can provide, please reach out to the Greater Bemidji contact list that you have. Otherwise, we'll try to keep everyone as informed as we can on a regular basis with the email contacts that we have now through the Zoom meeting and through those businesses that have reached out to us in other capacities. So thank you so much and take care.
Bye. Thank you.